Christianity is an important theme in English and British history. In medieval England, it was expected that most people would be Christian, the only type in Western Europe being Catholic, and that they would do exactly as the Roman Catholic Church said. This has proved a problem for many monarchs in history. Each monarch needed the church on side to help control the people, but the church could also be a potential rival to the crown's power. So the church always needed careful handling. Some monarchs have proved more capable than others at managing that relationship with the church. Overall, William I did well.
Yay!
He proved himself to be genuinely pious, but there was always something in it for him too. Firstly, William was able to gain the papal banner from Pope Alexander II in the lead up to his invasion in 1066. Once the country was his, he ensured that he made the Pope happy by replacing corrupt Anglo-Saxon clergy, including Archbishop Stigand, with Normans. He then proceeded to support his new Archbishop of Canterbury, Lanfranc, in his reforms of the English Church. William also oversaw the building of various cathedrals across England. And he made sure the wealth of England was put to good use. William's sons took a bit of a different tack and didn't seem quite as hung up on appearing as pious as their father. In fairness, the country had been conquered, so there was a little less pressure to have the church on side. But there were also a series of popes who wanted to exert their power, and one king in particular who didn't want to let them. William II, or William Rufus, became king in 1086. Rufus did continue some of the monastic reforms his father had started, giving property to monasteries and overseeing the founding of Bermondsey Abbey, for instance. But he was eager to show that the crown had no equal, not even the church. Early on he made clear that he wanted to exert authority over the church by putting William of St. Calais, Bishop of Durham, on trial for treason under secular law, not canon law. He also encouraged simony to further boost his treasury. Furthermore, Archbishop Lanfranc, who had resisted Pope Gregory VII's demands, died in 1089, but William Rufus didn't replace him until 1093, preferring instead to take the money from Canterbury to finance his military against a possible Scottish invasion. Eventually, Anselm was very reluctantly made Archbishop of Canterbury, but he was a true reformer and persistently argued with Rufus for papal supremacy and a clean-up of church standards. An attempt at compromise at the Council of Rockingham in 1095 was short-lived, and ultimately Anselm left England for exile from 1097 to 1100, when Rufus died. Eventually, it was left to Henry I to settle on a compromise with Anselm and the papacy, which he did at the Concordat of London. Here he agreed that he could not invest bishops with the symbols of their office, the crook and ring. That role would sit with the church, but he would receive homage from bishops as they were key landowners in England. It was a fair and a realistic compromise. Henry had done his best, but wrangling between the Catholic Church and state would continue throughout English history, through the reigns of Henry II, King John, and most famously Henry VIII.